recording.
Yep, I just heard it.
Got that. But now, hold on here. All right, what we're going to have to do tonight, I think, Ed, because since you're sharing, I can't get directly to minutes, so we're just going to have to let Christina do the minutes from the recording.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think, because since you're sharing, unless you, yeah, Ed, go ahead and stop share for a second,
Okay,
and then once you stop sharing, I may be able to get to my minutes. So I can get out of full screen here. And then let me get to the minutes and I may be okay. All right, where am I here? Okay, now I think I'm here. So at least I can do the minutes. I may not be able to see you guys, but I can do the minutes. So we know that Ed is here, Jeremy is not, right?
No, I didn't see Jeremy.
Barry is here, Stan is here. Monir is not at this point, right?
No, he has not connected. He
And
did
Jim Ball
join.
and Jim Ball is not?
No, Jim, I don't see
All
Jim.
right, then
either.
I'm gonna have to put myself in as the Ed, Terry. Monir is not here. I'll take Monir out. I'll put myself in as a voting member.
Okay, so we have a quorum.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and start. I think.
All right, so I'm going to call the order of the meeting at 7:16. Apologize, we had some technical difficulties. Tony has done the roll call. Thank you. Appointment of alternatives. Oh, I'm getting a text from Bill. Let's see. I don't know. I got to tell Bill we are on Zoom.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Now, I don't see any residents, so we'll skip to the review of the public hearing minute meeting. And I have it up on the screen. I hope people have viewed it. I have updated it. There were some corrections I had to make. Ray pointed out some numbers that weren't correct. Does anybody have any comments, corrections, additions?
There's a minor typo in the call of the public hearing.
Is it up here?
It's a semicolon instead of the letter L.
Where is that exactly?
It's in the call, down page 3.
Oh, page 3? Way down.
Well, might have been on page 2, but it's at the bottom.
Oh,
See where it says the Ledyard Water Pollution Control Authority will conduct a virtual. There's supposed to be an L, not a semicolon.
oh, I got it. Okay, very good. Very good catch.
I'll move the minutes, by the way.
Okay.
Second by Stan.
Second by Stan, thank you. Any other corrections? I'm gonna see let me see where I made some updates. All right. If you're hearing none, all those in favor of approving the public hearing minutes as of 11/27/2020 signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed?
I thought it was 11/24.
Yeah, it is 11/24. That's
Okay.
yes. Those opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Next is the regular minute meeting.
I'll move those minutes.
Second,
Okay,
Terry.
second.
There is a
Yes.
correction. There was no vote on new business item 1. The vote's not included in the minutes.
Oh, you're right. There's the motion.
Yep, and we passed the motion, so there should be a unanimous motion, but motion passed, but it's not in there, so that's gonna be corrected.
Yeah, that has to be correct because it's in there for the for the fees, but not for the motion. All right. Any other corrections?
Just a suggestion, under Romans 6 residents, it just says Mr. Blodgett. We might add words like he was present for a discussion under new business.
Yeah, okay, we can update that. So those are two things that are very important on the minutes. So we'll make the correction, we'll add some discussion with Mr. Blodgett, and then make sure the vote is included in the recommendation to the town council, which was unanimous.
It was.
Yeah. Okay, hearing any other corrections, I will entertain a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes of 11/24/2020 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, it's passed. Okay. Communication and correspondence. Now, you probably saw the fun thing I had up here. And the only thing is that there was, I guess, a pretty good sizable leak
Mhm.
by our tank. And I just have a question for Ray. Is this picture skewed or what? That pipe looks like it's going straight and then bent. What the hell happened there?
That pipe blew out. That's what happened. That coupling failed and the whole thing shifted.
Oh, my goodness.
That
So it's
was
not-
on Route,
Not connected at the blue. thing.
right, that was on Route 117. I thought they sent you the digital ones. They're much prettier. And they show a better contrast.
Well,
But
there's
what
another
happened-
there's another picture here, but I don't think that's the one. Or is
No,
that the
so
one?
that,
Yeah,
that one, no, that one there, the other coupling, if you look at it, is moved.
Yeah.
That pipe blew out on a Sunday morning and we drained that's on 117, just at the Ledyard Groton Town line. And we drained the tank, center of Ledyard tank down to 5 feet. It was at 20 feet. And it dropped down and we had our pumps, we had 2 pumps at the Center Groton Pump Station running, trying to catch up. So only good thing is the time we got there and we shut the pit off, opened up the bypass. The lowest point was 5 feet. So nobody ever lost any water, no calls came in. And we pumped that up within 2 hours. We had it back, not even about an hour. We had it at elevation 10 and we finished pumping it up by 1 o'clock. It went up back to 20, it was almost 22 feet, which is high level. And then we went back into normal operation. The guys fixed it by 1 o'clock. We had the new couple. We pulled both couplings off, shifted the pipe over and put these new restraints we have that have like a
right.
gripper system instead of just a dresser coupling to hold that in.
So why are those couplings in there? Why isn't that just a solid pipe flanged on both ends?
Because when you get water hammer, that's your release point. You don't
Okay.
want to have something. And plus, if you try to tie that in exactly with
with
the
flanges.
flange fittings,
Okay,
it's pretty tough. So we give it a little flexibility for this. Actually, this is the other one that comes to Groton broke 3 years ago.
huh.
And it was on our schedule to relook at this again to make sure everything was straight. And the guys do check it because they pump it down once a month.
Right.
And everything was fine. And then it just, for some reason, it felt like doing it on a Sunday morning.
How much water do you think we lost?
Well, we drained that tank. So the tank is, it was full. It was not
God.
completely full. So it's 700,000 gallons.
Wow.
Probably a little less, probably 600,000, but we pumped. So when we finished pumping that water, we opened up, we bypassed both meters and we floated up there. So no charge for the water that we pushed back all the way up and filled the tank up.
Boy, that's amazing. That's a lot of water.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it was running down 117 when they called me. I wasn't on call, but Rick wasn't feeling well and I ran in and it was washing the 117 right down. But within a couple hours, we had everything stopped and filling back up.
Yeah, maybe it found its way back in the reservoir.
Could have.
Excuse me. Yeah, well, thanks. Boy, that's amazing.
And we notified the state, as you see in that report.
Right, I saw that
Because
in the,
any break you have now, something like that, you have to report it.
yeah, that's up here. You actually, they don't, did they respond to this at all?
Yeah, there's no issues, but they just,
issues.
they did
Okay.
call us up and send us said that they got it and everything's fine. No, no, any violation or anything.
Okay, well, good work. Got to jump to the agent reports. They're corrected. If you notice, last month, they had two of the same numbers. I think these are more realistic. And any questions? By the way, yeah,
Just a comment. I think it's great news that in October and November, the over 120-day value is about half of what it was prior to that. I think that's amazing.
yeah, I agree. And I don't see, to be honest, Terry, I don't see any real serious issue in payments. I mean, I know there are some people that are struggling, but it seems like the numbers are coming in. Okay. I will now go to the water year to date. I don't have any comments on this. It's hard to say. Seems like we're using less water. I can't tell, but that would make sense. And the sewer year to date, I have no comments either. Everything seems to be normal.
Any chance of getting our management report?
I did ask, and he said he was busy. So I will. And then he asked, which Terry, did he have a show? I thought he showed us an example spreadsheet,
He did.
but I can't seem to find it. And neither, he asked me for it and I didn't have it. If
It was
anybody,
It was an Excel spreadsheet. I'd
Yes.
like to point out that as Assistant Finance Director, we're paying half his salary, but he has also become the treasurer for the town.
that's right.
So he's taken on 2 jobs and we're not getting our 20 hours a week.
No,
You're asking for something months ago and we don't have it yet. We got to really look at the budget next year.
okay. And that's coming up, I believe, March 5th. I have to present the budget to the Finance Committee. I think it's 4:30 on March 5th. I'll have to go back and look at the schedule that Roxanne published. Yeah, I agree, Sharon. So if anybody has that spreadsheet, and I don't know why I can't, but that might have been a couple of computers ago. I would appreciate getting it to them because I thought we all looked at it and we liked it.
No, but we all looked a couple months ago. I sent you what I had, but I don't think that was what you were looking for.
No, he had something different.
He did an Excel spreadsheet because Terry didn't like the Munis thing. And he did
Right.
something that you liked, Terry. It was really good.
Hey, Ed, I wonder if we could ask the chairman of the Finance Committee if he would take a look at the hours being spent and see, maybe we'll get a rebate. Maybe we're not getting 20 hours a week.
We're not.
Yeah, I can't believe the workload from the WPCA is equal to the rest of the town and being the treasurer combined.
Mhm.
I will ask you guys. I think it's a valid question.
Yeah.
I had some concerns myself about this move, but I voiced them and it was done.
Yeah, I have my concerns about the move, but right now as a WPCA, we've asked for something months ago and we keep getting, I don't have the time, I'm too busy. I don't have the time, I'm too busy. Well, if we're supposed to be half your time, you shouldn't be too busy.
What was requested?
What was requested was he had a simplified budget presentation in an Excel spreadsheet so that we could see how we were doing in terms of revenue coming in and money going out. It's very challenging to look at the Muncie and really see where we are. And so Ian spent some time on this. He
Mhm.
put together a draft and he said, hey, guys, what do you think of this? And I think Terry and Sharon had
loved
some
it.
comments. Yeah,
Yeah, but
you
Terry
guys,
loved it.
you had some comments and we said, yeah, let's go with that. But I don't know whatever happened after that. It never got published. So,
Yeah, so I can ask in this way. The town is investing in a new software package which presents budget data in a much more user-friendly way for the public with charts
Yeah.
and graphs and all that stuff. It's a lot more easy to read than Excel or Munis. So I'll ask where the WPCA is in all that.
That's a good
I
point.
haven't seen it myself. I've actually had trouble accessing the platform, but we've moved to it. So maybe Ian is spending his time on that instead. I'll find out.
Is there a lot of work to bring the data over, Bill, or is that something that's pretty automated?
Supposedly not.
Okay.
I have my own questions, but supposedly it just takes the data right out of Munis and represents it.
Okay.
We'll see as we learn more about it.
All right. Good. I don't have, okay, this is the sewer report. They replaced the sand. We saved money, which is always good. He is just, Steve Banks is in the process of getting the last quote for the LED lights. And everybody was right here. It looks like that Eversource one was not the cheapest. So we will get a better deal with all the LED lights replaced. See,
Can
I
we
think,
still get the rebate?
yes, you still get the rebate. That's correct. So we'll still get the $5,000 rebate, but we won't spend as much money on the LED lights. And that includes installation. I would, is this in old business? Yeah, it's in old business. Okay, so we'll just move on. He's got some items in there we'll discuss in old business. So, old business, if there's no other questions. I've looked at this bid spec that GU's put together. It's pretty thorough. It also has good news, bad news. I may have mentioned to you. The tank has no lead. It has no heavy metals in the sludge, and it has no asbestos. So that 300,000 gallon tank should come down within a reasonable cost. The bad news is the bunker has asbestos, has lead, and so it's going to be a little bit more expensive to demo. So my question to you guys, if you have looked at this, is it okay to submit this to contractors, request for quote?
I had a question, Ed.
Yes.
After reviewing it, it was not clear to me what the definition of owner was. In some cases, it seems to be Ledyard. In some cases, it seems to be the WPCA. And in some cases, it's the WPCA acting for Ledyard. I think we need to clarify that. And it made me wonder what paid for this tank in the first place. Was it taxpayer dollars or was it users?
No, this is the original system that was used.
We inherited it.
Yeah, we inherited this.
Did we inherit it or did we buy it?
No, we inherited it. We
Yeah.
foreclosed on it for taxes.
Then it belongs to the townspeople.
Well, my understanding, Terry, is when this system was handed over, it was handed over to the WPCA that we're actually responsible for it, not the town. I mean,
Well,
the
I
town is
understand.
ultimately.
I understand that, but if it was taken in lieu of taxes, then that's
That's a good point.
taking money out of all the taxpayers' pockets, isn't it?
Yes.
To do what?
I don't think it was, and I don't think it was ever given directly to the WPCA because I don't think it existed until they took this over. We didn't have a WPCA. They had to develop one or come up with one.
Yeah.
Because this was the first water system that the
Correct.
town owned. So
Right.
I don't think the WPCA has ownership. I think it's the town that owns it. And the town's gonna take the land after we destroy it,
Correct.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
So why isn't the town destroying it?
Yeah, so this goes back quite a few years. I know when Mike Cherry was on the WPCA, and we were responsible. We actually took down the treatment, the water, the wells and everything at, down by Lakeside there. And that money that was paid for that demo was not paid by the town. It was paid by the insurance company.
But that was a different situation because the WPCA put those wells in.
So
Okay.
this isn't the same system.
inherited. This is inherited. This is, the town really owns this. The WPCA put the Loftus well field in.
Oh, yeah.
They were in existence when that went in and the WPCA did that.
No, I'm not talking about Loftus. I'm talking about
The ones down by Highland Lake.
Highland Lake.
Yeah,
Was that part of this?
Yes,
that's part of the original system.
this part of this system right here
Well,
that we're
all
looking
right,
at.
let's just put that into perspective. If the town doesn't have to pay for it and they can pass it off, they're going to. That doesn't mean that that's the body that shouldn't be paying for it.
Yeah, we
I mean,
never,
I'm a taxpayer, not a ratepayer, and I have to question who should be paying for this.
right. And here's the other twist. So we never spent the whole $100,000 when we took the Highlands system down. We still have about $25,000 to $30,000 left in that
But who-
insurance.
Whose $100,000 was that?
That was the WPCA.
Okay,
So I don't think Marcia's going to go for that though. But I mean, I know we never spent all the money. So that money we
Well,
were
it-
earmarking. for that.
It's not Marcia's decision, but I would counter the argument that the taxpayers paid for the 117 main, they paid for the Route 12 main, they paid for the upgrade to the sewer plant.
Right.
So do you also think they should pay for the demolition of this tank or?
I'm
Or
just saying, I think it's been passed to us, and I think we have to acknowledge that we shouldn't be the ones paying for it. But yeah, we're gonna pay for it.
Yeah. It's a liability right now.
Right,
It's a huge liability to the town.
can we just fill the bunker in? Do we have to tear it down?
Right.
If it's full of, asbestos and stuff, can't we just fill it with concrete?
I don't know. I don't know.
Encapsulate.
Yeah, I don't know what the state will approve, but we can explore that.
I would ask, it might be cheaper.
Yeah.
The abatement part of cleaning that, it's only the front part of where the pipes are and stuff, so it's not a big money item for that part. You just get a contract, they come down and pull that. The asbestos panels they got on the wall and the lead, some of the lead pipe. That wouldn't be, if you would have that giant, you can fill it in with concrete and have a giant hole, but there's still pipe going to it that has to be disconnected. And we don't have a clue where that pipe is because none of the drawings show it ever being connected to anything, but it had to because it ran that tank. So it's a mystery.
So part of the deal of demoing it is exploring and finding out what's there and what isn't there, I guess,
To solve the mystery.
to solve the
So
mystery.
it would seem reasonable to me that if the town gets the land after the WPCA demolishes the tank and pays for it, and then if the town sells the land, they should reimburse the WPCA for their costs.
If they sell the land, but they may not sell it.
Right. But if they don't sell the land, then why should they pay to demolish the tank?
Because
That's
they're
the part
gonna
I'm
own
getting
it in the
stuck on.
end.
Well, what's it worth? It's
No
it's
idea.
maybe a building lot or maybe it's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's in an R60 zone and I'm not sure. I thought that was only an acre. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the drawings.
Well, there's nothing wrong with this RFQ, so I say send it out.
Right. So to answer Terry's question, that doesn't answer your question, Terry. I don't know. I guess we'd just simply say WPCA.
Well, I would say that the town is the owner and we could be the agent. but
Yeah.
Yes,
it
Right.
should be consistent throughout.
Yeah, we could update that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it and I'll send it. I'll send an updated draft to you, Ray,
Okay.
and Liz with that owner, WPCA in town. Try and straighten that out. Okay. Then we can see what happens, what it's going to cost. Okay, so the next item is we had a very productive meeting with Peter Gardner, Harry Heller, the mayor, Steve Banks, and myself. And comes to find out that the town got a grant to put in a trail between Ledyard Center and the high school.
Mhm.
Guess what? We can put a 2-inch pressure sewer line in that for about $200,000.
Wow.
So now the developer is really excited about it. And is willing to put some money in the game because he's got some problems. The area that in which the existing septic system is not very good. As a matter of fact, just north of it, it's very swampy.
which developer?
The one that's developing Ledyard Center.
The school.
School?
the old
The
school.
school, yes.
Okay.
So so the deal here is that we'll put out an RFQ for a consultant engineer to look at the design, but where we're going to push this is a holding tank at Ledyard Center with pumps. We'd probably have to upgrade the high school pumps. There is a 12,000 gallon tank at the high school, and we would relay pump that from the Ledyard Center to the high school. We would go underneath the path. I didn't realize this path is going to be paved. And it only has to be 4 feet deep. What I've included is a whole bunch of state references on pressurized sewer lines. PVC pipe, 2-inch PVC pipe will work. There are some details we have to think about, whether a grinder is needed or pump. But anyway, the cost seemed, we're talking about 3,300 feet of pipe from Ledyard Center to the high school.
What size pipe?
2-inch.
Seems awfully small.
Well, you take a look at these references I have. If you make it too big, it drops out. So we're talking 100 gallon a minute in the 2-inch pipe. Now, if you do they give you tables there. If you do the calculation, 100 gallon a minute is too high, but that's what we call spurt. We're not running 100 gallon a minute, every minute. You're probably doing it a third of the time, but you want the velocity to be high. You don't want things dropping out or caking up. So they want to keep it a couple of feet per second in that pipe. So if you make it too big, there'll be a tendency for it to drop out. So that it could be, you're right. It could be 2.5 inch. I'm going to let the consultants tell us,
Because
could be.
we want the capacity to serve all of Ledyard Center.
That's right. And we're talking about quite a few housing units too.
Mhm.
So, but they have the tables in there. They actually tell you what the flow rate will be. And it turns out that our present plant has the capacity to handle at least the plans that they're going to put in for phase 1, 2, and 3 or 4 would handle all of those phases. So I think it's encouraging. I think the mayor was really excited. We think we can do it for less money than $4 million, whatever somebody was touting. The mayor's also going to approach Kathy Austin and see if we can't get grants for that pipe, that line. But it makes a lot of sense, guys. The one thing we don't want to do is drag our feet on this. They put the trail in and then we tear up the road later. The whole idea is let's, at $2 a foot, let's put the 2-inch pipe in at least, right? Yeah. Okay, it's not connected to anything, but at least I don't have to tear up the trail. I get the pipe in line, right? And it's not going to cost a lot of money. Any one of us, Bill, the town or WPCA or somebody would pay for the pipe.
When
And
are
its
they gonna do
installation.
When are they gonna do the
Was there
trail?
any discussion about an elevated structure as opposed to a filled sidewalk? In other words, there's a lot of fill and they haven't figured out which side of the road to go on due to quite a few obstacles. So one of the proposals was to
Yeah.
build an elevated structure, like I'm gonna call it a boardwalk, as opposed to putting in a lot of fill. Was there any discussion about that?
No, the mayor said they had some way around that. They had some plans that they would go up close to the road in those places where they were gonna have to elevate it. That's what he
Yeah.
said. So
Yeah.
they didn't see any elevated portion. They said, no, we
Good.
have a way of going around, getting up close to the road. And
Okay, good.
I looked at it and he agreed. I looked at it, I said, geez, this is a no brainer. You put in a pressurized line and,
When are they planning on doing this walkway?
well, they got the grant approved.
I realize they got the
uh,
grant approved, but when are they planning on starting it? Because we have to move some hoops before we can decide to put a pipe in.
That's correct.
So I'm trying to see if this is time sensitive and we need to move.
He didn't say. I thought he was talking about a couple of years, 2022. I mean, it wasn't, yeah, go ahead.
They've already selected Weston and Sampson as the design engineer.
Right.
So the
Right.
design has to start soon, and that's where you want to get in.
Right. That's what I'm
So,
So they
thinking.
can
yeah,
design
I would
around
say
it.
this is time sensitive, very.
Yeah, so Bill, the mayor's aware of this. I don't know, I can't answer Sharon's question. I don't know. What we have to do is, Liz is very busy, but I need to get these requests for consultants for this design. Because I don't think it'll be the trail design that's going to do the sewer line.
So it's a multimodal sidewalk, so it will accommodate wheeled vehicles.
Right.
So it's a paved sidewalk, and they're calling it a multimodal sidewalk.
So it's gotta be pretty wide to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So bikes can pass
Yeah.
each other and, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty wide. I saw pictures.
So we
It's
don't
not
have the
a
we don't
trail.
have the RFQ ready yet for the engineering study?
No, let me go back. Steve mentioned, what did he say about that? So you see Liz is sending out the RFP. I have not seen it for Ledyard Center sewer feasibility study this week. I have not seen it. So it's gotta be close. I'll see if I can contact her and I will communicate the sense of urgency.
Well, I got a question because Liz is sending out an RFP and we're talking about an RFQ. They're not the same thing.
That's correct. The RFQ is,
It's request for proposals.
yeah, that's right. This one is a request proposal to get a consultant to design. But I think we may have to make it multi-phase and limit the scope because I don't want to wait around to have all the different, villages and Ledyard Center on both sides of 117. I mean, there's a whole design package they want to put together.
Yeah,
So
but we gotta move on this pipe in the
Right,
wood.
right.
We can't put out an RFP because we don't have the specs. If you're gonna put out an RFP, you gotta know what you're expecting them to handle in the way of sewage. We don't have those specs. This really is more like an RFQ to identify somebody who has the capability to provide what we need.
That's correct. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay, so it's wrong in Steve's report.
It's wrong in Steve's report.
That's what I was asking.
It's really what Terry said. It's to get a consultant engineer in here to do the design.
And when we get that company, we ought to talk to them about Stan's idea that eventually it'd be able to handle all of Ledyard Center, not just the developer's building.
Correct.
And
Right.
you might have to do something like put a small pipe inside a larger pipe so that it's appropriate for now, but eventually we could pull a smaller pipe out and you'd have a pipe
Right.
big enough to handle the whole deal.
Or two pipes side by side,
Right.
one big, one small.
Yeah, I
I've heard
mean,
the pipe is cheap, excavation is expensive.
That's right. So a 2-inch pipe would be about $4 a foot. But to ditch it could run up as much as $57 a foot. So you're right. If you're gonna put it in, you put in both of them. All right, so we got some gotta get some running shoes on, gotta get moving.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the rate was approved by the town, the 3.5% for both sewer and water. I will not bring up this. One of the questions that came up and during the public hearing is Eric Teresa said that there was a leak test in our existing operational contract. So if you look under the meter section, the leak test was for meeking liters, not the entire distribution system. So Eric was thinking we were paying double for leak tests. We weren't.
You actually said that at the meeting when he brought it up. You actually told him that it wasn't the same thing.
No, I did, but I didn't have the operations report in front of me, so I
But
couldn't.
Ed, I believed you.
Well, guess what? I guess I lucked out because it's exactly
You
that.
were right.
I was right. I wanted to make sure that, there was no error in that. What is this? All right, so I'm sorry. So the percolation funds we already talked about, and there's no other business. This is what. So unless there's any other question about old business, new business, the town website. Terry, the only thing that we got done on that was we did fix the members. But this needs some work. And Bill, do town contract the website to be updated? Is that done in-house or is that done outside?
I believe it's done internally. And that we pay Civic Plus for the website, but I believe that Regina Brulot
Okay.
does all the updates.
All right, so we have to update. The objective is only on sewer. If you look at this, there's a bunch of things we need to update on. So Terry, I agree. We need to go do this. We can do one section at a time, not tonight, but I would encourage all of you to look at it and then maybe make some suggestions. And then we'll collate those suggestions and then send them, I guess, Bill, to Regina, or maybe through you, but at least have an organized and less chaotic plan to update the text in the website.
Yeah, my thought was that in addition to talking about providing pure water and not just the description of the water processing or waste processing, that we ought to have current references. We need the PDF documents that we drafted
All right.
with Groton Utilities' help, the policy manual and the user's manual. And then we need perhaps links to the ordinance that made us a WPCA. One of the few things that is linked there is a shutoff policy, which is dated 2011 and has my signature on it. I doubt if we're still using that same document. So I think we could do a lot better. And I think we should, like the town is doing a very good job, I think, of putting current information, it's just like the text system that we're getting from the town. We get notification meetings, we get notification of parking bans. We get a lot of things from the town that are very timely. And I think we could do that for things like, hey, we're flushing hydrants. We're doing leak checks in your neighborhood. We're doing cross-connect inspections.
Right.
Those kinds of things. We could be a lot more dynamic, I think.
People would love that because absent that, it's Facebook commentary.
Yeah.
It's, hey, my water's brown. Oh, they're flushing the mains. How come nobody told me? So
How
that's a
come
really good
How come
idea.
my water's black? Or
Yeah.
why is it discolored? Because they're flushing the mains. Yeah, you see
It's
that all
because
the
you're a
time.
small customer like me.
So my question, Terry, is how do you do that? I mean, who updates this?
Yeah, I
Somebody-
think we'll have to find out what they're, obviously they're doing it well for other things, so we just need to find out what the
Okay.
mechanism is.
Okay.
So all you do is you send an email with your announcement to Regina
Yeah.
and she'll publish it. It's
Okay.
that easy.
All right, good. Because I do get them from Ray and I can forward them to Regina.
Yeah.
All right.
Good idea.
All right, guys. Well, we spent enough time on this. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy
Yeah.
New Year.
Thank you.
Merry
Hey, can I say
Christmas.
one thing before we leave?
Yes.
So we cut some trees on Sandy Hollow Road.
Oh, yeah, people aren't happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you call that cutting? I think you maimed them.
So hold on, because Steve Maslin called me up and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. I was home on vacation, but anyhow."
Likely.
So I got some, I guess he was getting bombarded. So just to let everybody know, like I told Steve, and this could be something on the website, Sandy Hollow Road in the state's eyes is a dam. So according to the dam, you can't have trees growing in the dam. So for years, we haven't done it, because everybody complains. So now that they're doing dam inspection, and in last year's reports was you had to cut the trees. So we rented a machine and we did most of our reservoir and the roads, the fire roads and everything through there with this machine. And we ran down Sandy Hollow and obviously whacked a bunch of trees.
Yes.
And we're going to come
Obviously.
out and clear cut with the saws and chip it and clean it all up. So those things that you see mangled and stuff, we will clean all that up when the snow finishes, just to let everybody know. I let Steve know that, if he wants to put something, I know, I guess it was the website stuff. I don't get that, but people were upset about it. So that's what we did. And that's the reason. We just didn't feel like cutting trees down. And I didn't want to cut because it makes the big trees. It looks worse when you do a big tree. So we're going to cut them with saws.
Ray, my question is, if that's a dam, where's the spillway?
It's the pipeline going across. So it's two bodies of water the state makes. And that's what they justify it as a dam.
And I suppose if you put some more dirt on either side, you could call it a peninsula, but all right, well, I'll entertain a motion. Thanks, Ray, for that.
Adjourn.
I got one
All
question.
right.
for Ed. Got
Yeah.
One question. Tina and gang all ready to implement the new rates on 1 January?
Yes, she said it was going to be a challenge, but she's up for it. So she's committed to doing it.
All
1st of
right, now-
January.
Now I'll motion to adjourn.
All right,
All
so
right.
moved. All right. Take care, everyone.
Everybody,
Thanks,
Merry
All
Christmas.
right.
Thanks, Tony.
Merry
Thanks,
Christmas.
Tony. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right.
All right.